Hey guys, I'm starting a little early, but that's okay. No, better than starting late. So I broke my Element RC Enduro truck yesterday or Tuesday. I think I broke it Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is, to be honest with you. So I'm going to put a new C-hubs on it tonight. That'll be my after-hours project. And we'll see if I have any time left over to mess with anything else. So my lid has seen better days, but it keeps going. It's the metric body. It's got the front grille that I busted out the bottom piece, and I got my headlights that have seen better days, but got a big crack right here now. Got my driver. You can see my driver in there. But looks good and works really well. I like the metric body right now just because it has the nice tight fit. It's not there's not a whole lot of hanging up on anything with this body. So thought about putting a roof rack in, but I don't know. I don't think I need one. I got all my scale points back there. So what I did was I finally pulled the screw through the plastic there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And honestly, I haven't broken this truck very often. Trying to think of the times I have broken it. I know I broke oh man, I don't even know what to call it now. I'm so tired. Anyways, I haven't broken it that often. Let's put it that way. So when I do break it, it's kind of a thing. Kind of turns into a thing, and I'm like, oh crap, what do I do? And we're gonna put aluminum hubs on it now instead of plastic, so that hopefully that doesn't do it again. We got Jackson's on here, Bender's on here, Whitmire's on here. That's pretty cool. I have my SSD Assassin wheels, and if you look closely, I put the closely. If you look closely, it's got the it's kind of hard to see, but the disc brakes back there, it's a disc brake weights. Isn't that really neat? I think that's cool. And got the big old brass knuckles on there. To help with the weight. Cole, I'm working on my Element. I broke it on Tuesday. And I'll probably drive it a little tomorrow after work. So we're gonna put aluminum C-hubs on, so that the likelihood of breaking it again will be pretty slim. Probably should check the bearings and stuff while I have it out, just because. Let's see if I can. This should be a fairly easy swap. C-hubs are pretty easy to change out. Just have to get these hexes. So I have a lot of different brass pieces on this truck. I have the brass knuckles from SSD there, and I got the Samix 8mm brass hexes. I have brass shock mounts, and I got a brass diff cover. The whole idea was to keep the weight nice and low and keep it off the tires. I used to wrap these wheels and tires with weight on the inside, and I took all that out. And the only weight I have on my wheel really is these the SSD disc brake weights. But even then, they're not near as heavy as the patties I had on there. So I took all that stuff off there to try to just maintain the wheel speed. And then once you do that, then you should be able to put weight in different spots. So I have this is the SSD brass diff cover, and I've got Samex brass shock cups at the bottom, and I got the brass inserts, and then I don't know if you guys can see that with the brass right there. So there's a lot of weight. Oh, and then one last piece that I did is I got the brass brace right here and bumper mount. I wasn't sure if I wanted to have the weight that high, but it seemed like once I put this on, the actual weight of the truck ended up being the same as when I had the weights wrapped inside the wheels. So I kind of went with it. This front bumper is a Wordy made. It's the Chino bumper. And then in the back, this is an SSD. I can't remember what they called it, but I wanted it because I didn't really want a rear bumper, but it's extra points if you got it on there. So it tucks up really nice underneath my bed. My bed comes out to about right here, and this just tucks right up under there. And with this guy, I was able to keep my my tail lights where I put them in the original bumper holder from Element. So yeah. But yeah, this is a Wordy made. I think Wordy made stuff's been out of stock for a while on A-Main, and I did see some SCX-10-2 branded ones, so I went ahead and ordered a bunch of those that we have at Plex, I think, right now. Honestly, I don't think there's much of a difference. Maybe how they mount a little bit where the holes are, but actually this one was for a maybe it's TRX4 that they were, because none of them were for the Element. This is an SCX-10-2 one. I think the ones that I found were officially for the TRX4, but you can use them on whatever, make them work. So I think the weight thing on crawlers is such a personal preference, really, because this truck is pretty heavy, but I seem to really like it being heavy. But my truck that I've been working on, that's the stores, the SCX-10-2 that we have, that thing is much lighter than this truck, and it can do some stuff that this truck can't, just because it doesn't have that what do they call it? Basically, because it's not as heavy, the shocks actually work where it's not full, like a full droop type setup like this one basically is. A lot of that comes from the weight. By the way, my son Emerson actually won Tuesday night crawling. He had the lowest score. I'm trying to get him out. He's been playing so many video games lately. He's up all night playing Destiny, and I don't know. I've been trying to get him out to do more stuff, and he's actually taken to crawling pretty well, so that's kind of exciting. Anyways, I'm gonna get this guy off of here. Let's see. Should be able to. You should always keep these around. These are awesome. These are like gold, by the way. If because they always come in handy. In fact, I think a lot of people steal them from us at the Plex. So they work really well when you need one of these in a pinch. Wow, I think my piece here has been actually like busted. Or not busted, but bent. There we go. There we go. You know, I've had this truck for a year. I got it in May last year, and I've beaten the crap out of it. And it really, there's really not a lot of play in this yet. So these universals are really holding up. That's pretty cool. And let's see. Did I apply Stay Wet to the track tonight? No, I went home. Thursdays are like, Thursdays can be like mentally draining for some reason. I don't know if it's just because it's just two people there for a little while in the morning, and then it just kind of goes from there. But usually by 8 o'clock, I'm ready to get out of there. I don't want to stay any longer than I have to. So no, I did not. I will probably do it tomorrow night, just like I did last time. Yeah, and it wouldn't go away in a week. And I'd almost be, that stuff's so potent that I'd actually be afraid to apply almost too much of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is, last Friday I started on the very far end and made my way over, and I put in 450 milliliters, which is a bottle like just a little bit bigger than this. And once it's gone, I didn't want to take the time to have to go refill it. So I tried to get as much of the track as I could. So I got almost all the track. The only parts of it that I didn't really hit with Stay Wet were the back straightaway and the first part of the double doubles after the straightaway. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow night is start there with Stay Wet, and then work my way down to the other end and see how far I get. So that's the plan. I'm going to put another 450 on there milliliters, and then after that, I don't think I'm going to mess with it for a while, because again, it's really potent stuff, and shouldn't need to apply it all the time. In fact, I went down there today to open the doors, and it was more humid in there today than in the dirt track. That's what we're talking about, the HobbyPlex dirt track. But it was more humid in there today than it had been in a while. So I think it's working for sure. And you can kind of see it in the track like color. So when the track's wet, it's got a much darker brown look to it. And when the track is dry, it gets kind of light, almost turns like a, kind of like a tan almost. So it definitely looked like it was still wet today. And I hadn't even watered last night. So Trevor will come in tomorrow and water the track before Friday night racing, and it should be really good for Friday night. And then I'll before I lock up, I'll spray it down Friday night like 11 o'clock, and then it sits overnight, and it should be ready for us at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. So it should be really good. All right, so I've freed up my my old hubs now, and I'll take these babies off. and it should just yank off. They're just like any other, like that axial axle. Look at that. It's grimy. Now I gotta decide, do I even keep this if I'm putting aluminum ones on? Nah. Well, I better, because if I got the wrong aluminum ones, then I'll have to take them back. So if I got the wrong aluminum, if these are the wrong ones, what I'm gonna do is instead of going back to the store and just swapping them out and getting store credit or paying extra, whatever it is, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go online and complain about it on Facebook, and then maybe I'll go back. But I'll have to decide later if that's what's gonna happen. Jackson says if I put a 17.5 motor with 81, and the manual says 20 for pinion, but the lowest I have is 23. So Jackson, what you'll probably do is go really, really fast with that gear, and your motor will probably get a little hotter. Because it's a modified, you probably won't have to worry about it too much. But you would your car would probably drive a lot better if you had the proper gear on it. So gearing too high, actually, it'll probably feel slower, actually, just because you'll lose all that get up and go initially out of the corner. So wait a minute. Did I break it or did I just pull it out? I bet I pulled it out. I thought I broke it. So it looked like it had pulled right out of that side right there. But now that I have it out, it doesn't appear broken, but it makes me wonder if, oh yeah. So it basically just pulled it out. So I can press that. I can press this kind of with my thumb almost all the way in there. So it's plastic. It's bound to happen, but it's actually not broke. I mean, it is broke, but it didn't break the way I thought it broke. So that's good. We'll pop these babies open. So I finally got a chance to drive my 22X4 that you guys saw me building on here last time, I think, or maybe the week before that. I kind of don't remember. I think it was a week before that. Anyways, that's like I say, that car is amazing. So I've become sort of cynical about RC car stuff. When people say, oh my God, this car is the best car I've ever driven, that sort of thing, I tend to go, yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best car I've ever driven, but it's definitely near the top. It is like knocked out of the ballpark good. So much better than the old Losi car. And honestly, I've never driven B74 before. I probably, hopefully will soon. I'll probably, borrow somebody's just to compare. But dude, that car is really good, and I can see why they sell a lot of them. I can see why we were out of stock for a little while, and now we make sure that we have like 3 or 4 of them a lot of time. So, yeah, it's a really good car. So, thumbs up from this guy, and it's actually a car I'll probably keep for a while. I tend to go through cars pretty quickly. So this one, I think I'm going to keep for a while. It has so much steering that it just blows my mind. I wasn't ready for it. I was expecting it to push a little, No, not at all. Not one bit. So I'm a happy camper. So these are SSD. Jackson says he wants a B74. I happen to know a person who's selling one. Will's selling his for some reason. Should buy his. What, babe? So these have a clamp on them. You can see here. So we'll put them on. The other thing about these style axles, and I'm sure most of you guys know this already, but you can actually tilt them, but if you put them on wrong, maybe. But it's really neat how you can actually. It's almost like changing. I think it's is it caster? That thing you could. Is that going to be what that's called, or maybe rake? I don't know. It's one of the two. But it's really neat. It's just really neat what you can do. You can kind of tilt it back, whatever, if you need to. Don't ask me why or how. I never claimed to be an engineer. And hopefully if you listen to our podcast, you know that by now. What? Turn that off. So we'll want to make sure that we get these in here first so I don't screw anything up. What's oh, okay. That makes sense. I should probably use thread lock on this. Okay. And my one gripe about these is that they don't really give you any real instructions. So not that I'm saying I need them, but I'm an instruction reader. I tend to read instructions just to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid, because I have known to do things kind of stupid every once in a while. From time to time. Ooh, look at that. My shock was actually starting to come undone from that brass mount. Great. Ah, my finger. Where am I at? That guy right there. So it's a good thing I'm taking this thing apart to go over it and make sure I maybe tighten some stuff up for next time. The past couple Tuesdays have been really fun, guys. Like I said, Emerson won on Tuesday. I got second. Matt Veldman got third. The previous week, it was actually the opposite. It was I got first, Emerson got second, Matt got third again. 2 weeks ago, we had 4 people. And then this last Tuesday, we had 7. And I made the track or the course really, really hard on Tuesday. Probably a little bit harder than I had meant to make it. So we touched a lot of gates, but it was a good 10 gate course. Some made it through in about 5 minutes, and then others, it was about 11 or 12 minutes tops, I think, was the longest time. Not that time matters a whole lot on Tuesdays, but it just gives you something to kind of go off of. But you know, if you get a chance, come out. It's quick and easy. You don't even have to stay if you don't want to. But we set up a course. We judge it just like they would at a larger 402 or Carter Lake Crawlers event, something like that. And I think next week's course will be a little easier, a little bit. Definitely not as hard as this last week. And I think I'm going to stretch it out, and we're going to use more of the course. I try to move stuff around and all that, but I already have an idea for what I want to do next week. Is there racing next Friday? Yes. No racing on the 4th on Saturday, but there is racing on that Friday. So I'll make sure to have Trevor announce that tomorrow during the races as well. So but yeah, I think we close early on July 4th, and then I'm going to come home right away and charge up my 350 QX quadcopter.
We should put the GoPro on it
so that Emerson can put his GoPro 8 on it, and we're going to take some good video of the neighborhood. So I'll be
totally forgot.
I'll be interested to see if the guy down the street tries to take my drone down with a laser, like the guy did was it a month ago?
I don't know.
There's a guy down the street that we were flying our drone, and we reviewed the footage, and
wait, hold on.
And then we're like, what is that? And then some dude had a green laser and was pointing it at the drone, obviously trying to take the drone down, which my drone's not like that. You can't do that. It doesn't matter. So, but I was like, what the hell, man?
Hold on, I think I have it. Let me find it.
This is the same guy that came up that tried to get Emerson in trouble for something he wasn't doing. And we have that on video too. So
Is this it?
Jackson, if you go on my personal YouTube account, Gunter Lokes's, and go to my videos that I have up from July of 2013, I actually took my drone up and was flying it around inside all the fireworks, and I got really, really close to getting hit by one. I didn't get hit by one, but I got really close, and I got really good footage because it was like right there. Emerson actually has it saved on his phone. Oh, there it is. Yeah, what a chode monkey. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, Emerson's not gonna let me. Turn that down. You guys see that? See it? Did you see it?
I already started. Here, do like this. Didn't even do it yet.
Isn't that cool? It's still neat that it caught it. I thought it was cool. I can't bring my drone down, but still. One of those guys. What flying thing? I own the sky.
That's illegal.
I'm calling the cops. Okay, these are on, and I think they also have these neat little things right here, set screws that are meant to kind of hold it in, I guess. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's like double the protection. It was green. I don't know why it looked blue on the screen, but
It was blue.
was it blue?
It was.
Okay, never mind. I thought it was green. I guess I'm getting old. Yeah, I'm colorblind. That's a good Counting Crows song. Okay, so there we go. We got the new aluminum C-hubs. They're locked in. So now we can put this back together. Should probably start with the panhard mount, I'm thinking. Panhard mount. That's what I broke before on this truck. I was trying to think of what it was earlier. I broke the plastic panhard mount. Haven't done that. Really haven't done that since, so that's good. Dude, you have no idea. My neighborhood's so weird. Like, nobody talks to one another, and it's the times that I have been able to talk to some of my neighbors, like, they seem nice, but then they'll like honk at me on my way home, not in a happy way. Like, what happened the other night? So I was driving home, and I turned the corner, and I'm driving to get in my garage or whatever, and I hear a honk, and I'm like, and it's a car in front of me, but I'm like, why am I getting honked at? Because I'm on this side of the road, so I know it wasn't that. Like, it wasn't on the wrong side of the road. I definitely wasn't speeding, okay, because it was like 11 o'clock at night. My lights are on. I don't know. I just don't know. I guess Taylor did fine. I don't know. He didn't get anybody pissed off at him, so that's good. The main thing about our guys at the store right now is, you know, we're as you know, as busy as we've been. We really need to make sure that everybody that we have working there stays productive, you know, doesn't just stand around and do nothing. So which he doesn't. He's stayed mostly busy. All right. First brass knuckle going back on now. Hopefully I did everything correct. Looks like it. A little bit more thread lock. Again, you should probably spray these off with motor spray, but oh, wait a minute. I thought I bought motor spray. Oh, I did. Yeah, I've had a long history of getting in disputes with neighbors over my speed. So when our house was first built, we were one of the first ones built in the neighborhood, and so all these homes over here weren't there, and so you can drive into my neighborhood, or you can drive straight to my house like this. So I'm gonna try to draw it out for you. Here's the main highway, and then you go like this, 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 right? And so when nobody was here, except for a few neighbors, but not the ones that I'm driving through, I would basically slalom that thing, right? Like it was a touring car, a real touring car track. By the way, in a GMC Sonoma, so, and then in a Honda Element, right? But then as more people have moved in, there was these guys that had a bunch of kids across the street, which I was fully aware of, and so I would drive slow. I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to drive slow now and not really worry about it. Well, one time I'm driving home and I turn the corner and this guy runs over and he knocks on my window as I'm driving. He's like knocking on my window, and I stop and I roll my window down. He's like, "There's kids here," and there's like 20 kids playing in the middle of the street. In the middle of the street, okay? So I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I kept going. And then another neighbor was like, hey, the guys over there, they're really worried about your speed, man. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I stopped driving that way altogether. I drove a different way to get to my house, basically just to avoid any conflict, because I wasn't speeding. I was going under 25 miles an hour or at 25 miles an hour. And if there's kids around, I made sure to go even slower. But see, it wasn't about that. They just wanted the street so that all their kids could play in the middle of the street. When I was growing up, when you played in the street, okay, then a car came, everybody would go, car, and everybody would get out of the way. And then the car would pass, and then you'd go back to whatever you're doing. Usually it was football or baseball or something like that. But no, nowadays, when a car comes, everybody just stops what they're doing in the middle of the street, folds their arms like this, and stares at the car. Apparently, that's what you're supposed to do. So who knew? I didn't know that was the new way to do things. So yeah, but luckily they've all gotten older now, and they don't really, there's nobody playing the street over there. So now there's a new group of kids that are in the opposite end that I used to go, and a couple of them have actually darted out in front of my car as I was driving from behind another car. You know, that horrible situation where kids get ran over and killed because they're stupid. Well, that's basically what almost happened. I was driving home, again, not speeding, minding my own business. Actually, it was dark out, and this kid, there's a car parked right here. This kid just goes boop right out in front of me, almost ran him over and killed him. Very happy I did not, but again, decided that maybe that wasn't the way I should come home from work anymore. I'll let somebody else run them over, and it won't be me. I hope that doesn't sound too terrible, but that's the truth. All right, we're gonna put this other one on. And actually, yeah, I'm going to do it properly. Look at that. I got motor spray. You know what? I'm kind of bummed out that I did not use my vacation and and sign up for Axial Fest Badlands this year. I've never gone to Axial Fest, and I was trying to tell myself to do it, use my vacation, and go, and I missed the deadline by the time I decided to make a decision. So kind of bummed out because I've never been to a really, really, really large crawling event since the big event we had here in 2008, the Midwest Challenge. And even then, because I didn't have to travel and it was indoors, it really wouldn't have been the same anyways. So maybe next year. There's that crawling event in Missouri that I want to go to, but it's the same weekend as the Summer Series race, so can't go. Kind of bummed out. The schedule just kind of works out the way it does. Yeah, Jackson, I don't hate my neighbors or anybody else. It's just kind of weird to me now how things are, where it's like me, or even anybody else that happens to go down the street at the wrong time is gets the mean mug. All right, we almost got this thing licked with brand new
I'm doing something.
C hubs. I'm excited. One less thing to break, basically, is what I'm looking at. Oh, I already did that. What am I doing? I honestly wasn't. The Axial Fest thing to me wasn't real clear as to what you actually do at Axial Fest, because like my truck's set up for the kind of crawling that we have outside the HobbyPlex, right? And I know they do something like that, but I never really got a definitive answer. Other than just hanging out, with hobby people for 3 days, which I wouldn't mind, although I can do that here if I really want to do. Okay. The only thing we got left to do is this guy. And that's going to be this. Or should I go from the top? I feel like, oh no. No. We definitely want that. Okay. Where did there it is right there. The only thing that really irks me about that whole conversation I just had is when you're clearly not at fault. Like, I get it that pedestrians have the right of way, but not if you're jaywalking, right? Or not if you just bounce out in the middle of the street without warning. Like, that's not the car's fault. But if you get on some of these neighborhood apps, it comes like somehow it is your fault. And you can be as alert as you want to be, but if some poor kid that is super excited that his neighbor's got a new football or something just darts out in the middle of the traffic without any warning and from a blind spot, what are you supposed to do? It's scary. Okay. Tighten this guy down. And next one. Oops. Got some hair on it. That's not good. I don't even have any dogs. Oh. So one of our racers, Andy and TJ, a couple weeks ago, brought Bert the dog, this super nice Boston Terrier, and it ended up disappearing that night. And I was really worried that somebody took him because he's such a nice dog that it'd be really easy for somebody to go, oh, look at this really nice Boston Terrier that's just running around. We should take him. And I was afraid that was going to be the case. And so they put up posters and all that, checked all the different humane societies, and they actually found him in at the Fremont Humane Society on Tuesday night. And I got a message while I was watering the track at like 10 o'clock or whatever, saying, "Hey, we found Bert." So here's the funny thing. Here's the story. The people that dropped him off at the Humane Society in Fremont, Nebraska. Okay, you got to realize that there's a Humane Society literally, like a mile away from the HobbyPlex. But anyways, said that the dog just jumped into their car at Hobbytown and they didn't know what to do. Which, to me, any normal person that has a random, cute, super nice dog jump into their car would go, hey, wait a minute, get out, walk into where all these people are at and go, hey, whose dog is this? But no, these people didn't know what to do. So yeah, I'm so happy that Bert the dog is back in the care of Andy and TJ and their family. But man, it ticks me off that these people took that dog. So, and the sad part is, I don't think they're going to get any repercussions because they took the dog, and then they either found his picture on Facebook and realized that it wasn't just a dog; it was like somebody's like therapy dog, So I hope they felt really bad, and that's why they turned him back in, because you should feel terrible taking somebody's dog. Anyways. Don't take other people's dogs, people. It's brutal. It's going to be bad enough when the dog passes away, right? That you prematurely cause that sort of like mental anguish. That's the one thing that's tough about pets for me is that I know at some point in the future there's going to be a terrible pain and loss from this animal that's been in my life for, hopefully 15 to 20 years. That's why I'd have a hard time getting a dog myself, because I had pets when I was younger, dogs, cats, all that stuff. And I don't know, I just, it's going to be bad enough when like my cat Finn or Roxy, gets old and gotta put them down or whatever. Okay, so there you go. I now have aluminum C-hubs on my Element Enduro, and for whatever reason, oh, see, I didn't put that on right, did I? It needs to be forward a little bit. Well, actually, I think I could fix that without taking the whole thing off. Is that straight up and down? It is straight up and down. So the one thing that it did change was it. Oh, I see. See, there's a little nub here. So the panhard mount is blocking my suspension from compressing all the way right here because it's not sticking out far enough now. So I think what I'm going to do real quick is put a spacer right there, and that should fix that without having to take the whole thing apart. So I'm going to do that really quick here, and then I think I'll have it. So yay me. Oh yeah, look at that. All right. I hope the people at the Fremont Humane Society were like, right, it just jumped into your car, because that's what I would do. Unfortunately, I go to like the worst places on things like that. I'm like, oh really? It just jumped into your car? Yeah, fantastic. That sounds legit. So now the hunt for a spacer begins. Looks like I'm going to need like at least a 2mm spacer, or I could, I suppose I could take that off. That'd even be easier to just do that. Not that I'm like looking for the easy way, but I kind of am. I don't think I have to take all this stuff off in order to do that. I think I can just slide it off. Because now that I'm looking at it, there's a mold line that is sort of behind. So I think maybe I should do it that way. Dumb. So while I have this going on, I'm watching ongoing crawler videos. And there's some places out there that are just so cool. They've got, instead of these little riffraff, boulders and stuff that we do, they've got these gigantic actual rock faces, that they can go vertical. I mean, not vertical, but like, I don't know what angle that is, but it's just really cool to watch. Kind of wish we had rock like that around here, but we don't. There we go. So I put it on, basically I didn't put it on straight like I should have. So we got to reset it real quick. Let's see if that's right. Oh yeah, there we go. Man. Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum, dum. No, what am I doing? No, that's right. I don't like to use a lot of thread lock because I'm afraid of not being able to get it off later. I think I've mentioned that before on this show, where you like put a little daub of it on the table. Kind of think like, just because of the style of vehicle this is and what I'm actually using the thread lock for, you can actually put it on the threads a little bit and it shouldn't cause any issues. Okay, now let's try it. That should have fixed it. Hopefully. And let's see if I can. So another nice, oh yeah, there you go. Another nice tool to have. Another nice tool to have in your toolbox are these balled hexes. So most of the time, you don't want to use these for most of what you're doing because it is a little bit easier to strip your screws with balled hexes. But when you actually need to get down at an angle to get that screw to go in without cross-threading it, the balled hexes are where it's at. So highly recommend adding to your toolbox some balled hexes. MIP makes them. I have my own. I've got a 2.5 from MIP, and then I've had my trusty Dynamite 2.0 balled end, balled wrench for many, many, many years, as you can see. And I don't use it that often, but most of the time it's when I'm like this, when you got to get at it from a certain angle. So, okay, now I'm done, and the suspension works like it's supposed to. So that's really good. And we're back in business. I'll be ready for Tuesday. Had my rear tire coming off too, I noticed, so I'm gonna tighten that guy down. While I'm at it. Probably needs a good cleaning. Yeah, you know, I've never been to Elmwood. I shouldn't say I've never been to Elmwood. I've been to Elmwood, but I haven't been to Elmwood to crawl. So I see pictures of it all the time, and I would definitely like to get out there. Although I got to tell you, and I think Cole and I have talked about this in the store, this truck's not really made for like that style of scale crawling, you know. I have this purely set up to get through the course at Hobbytown or Lincoln, you know, underneath the bridges down there and along that bike trail. But I really think that if I got a trail runner, the new Element truck, and got some 1.9 class 1 landmines from J Concepts when they come out, that might be the kind of truck for that, with that independent front suspension. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll see if they do another stimulus check. You never know. There might be one of those in my future. So, okay, I think I'm done with this guy happily, and I can actually throw these away because I'm never going to use them again. So they'll just sit around and do nothing in my my box if I hang on to them. Definitely time to start thinking about a new body for this thing. I think I might just do another metric body, just because, like, I like how everything fits. I actually ordered a Vanquish body. That's why the store actually has the two Vanquish bodies, the SUV and the half cab. But I did so much work to get the bumpers and the frame exactly how I wanted it, that the Vanquish body actually fit about right here, and I would have had to redo my entire front end again, bumper wise. So I like having this bumper real tight against the body so that I've got a really good approach angle no matter where I'm at. So, yeah, I don't know. I got to think about it some more, see what I'm going to do. If I do get another one, I'll just get a metric body and I'll have it bob painted differently this time. Maybe some flames or something. Okay. That's about it. I'm pretty beat. I've had a long day. Thursday, we were really busy today again, and Thursdays sometimes can kind of just leave me mentally exhausted. So, yeah, I've got these silver compound ellipses for this weekend. I've never actually ran the silver compound myself. I had a set for Emerson for those first couple club races, and the way that Emerson drives, he burned right through them. So maybe we used too much sauce and heat, because I listened to the other guys talk, and they don't even really heat cycle the silver compound. So I'll probably try to break these in maybe tomorrow night in between races. But I didn't want to bore you guys with another tire gluing session on a HobbyPlex After Hours. So I got these done actually last night and today. So, so that'll be fun, something different. Yeah. And that's about it. I'm pretty beat. So I'm going to sign off on this one and go to bed. So I'll probably see some of you guys tomorrow. And if not, I will see you guys either next time on here or maybe next week or something like that. Make sure that you guys listen to the HobbyPlex Show podcast. It should be out. The new episode should be out hopefully tomorrow. If not, it'll be Saturday. If you haven't listened to the last one, you should. It's an interview with Team Associated's Mac Vanderbeek. He's the Region 8 Team Associated team manager, and we had a really fun, good interview. It went by really fast. So hopefully you can listen in on that. And no What's New Wednesday this week, even though we did get the Team Associated trail runners in and a couple new bodies, but we just didn't have time, honestly. So maybe we'll try to fit one in next week, but we were really busy yesterday and today. So got to squeeze those in when you can. You can't do it while there's customers in the store. You don't want to feel ignored or anything like that. So trying to think if there's anything else. Well, if you do come in the store, I completely revamped the crawling section once again. Got a bunch of product up that's just kind of been lying around. And I also put some lights up so you can see the product better. We got a buttload of Holmes Hobbies 27-turn motors back in stock. I think we got like 24 of them in stock or something like that. So if you need a new motor for your truck, we got plenty. And we did get silver compound ellipses back in front and rear, and they've been out for a couple weeks now. So I got those back in, so that's really good. And yeah, that should be it. So expect some videos this weekend from racing. And other than that, that's all we got. So I'm going to bail. And thanks for tuning in. And we'll make another video for you soon. Thanks.